Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Damien and Danielle download, featuring myself, Danielle, and my co-host, Mr. Damien Adler. Damien, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Danielle. How you going?
Awesome. I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm awesome. Thank you.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
So, as always, we have got our stopwatches out. We are
I saw.
going to start them and we are going to dive in to this month's episode of the Damien Danielle download and go over everything happening here at Power Diary. Sound good?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
All right.
So, shall we start out with maybe some releases, updates, new stuff that have come out since our last download? So let's run through here. We've got a little bit to cover. So, in no particular order, we have started a start time that is now sort of recorded when telehealth sessions are started in the log file. So people can go back and see the start and finish times. There's a bunch of different reasons why people wanted that, but they wanted to be able to track that time. So if you go into the log file, you can now see that and some other information that is also on there.
Awesome.
Next one was again from feedback. We've added a confirmation pop-up when deactivating a client file from an account. Sorry, not a client file, a appointment flag from an account. So in an account, people can have appointment flags to say it's initial session or it's a last session or it's a one with a child and parent or whatever. You can make them up however you like, and you can set them as defaults for clients. So every time you make an appointment, this flag automatically gets added to the appointment. Now the problem is that sometimes people would have these flags set up, and then for whatever reason their practice changes, they no longer need the flag. And so they'd go into their account settings and into their custom lists, and they would say, I want to deactivate this flag, which is fine. However, what would happen is clients would have that set as default, and there'd be future appointments and everything with that set already. And so you're now trying to deactivate something, it causes some issues. So we've now put in a feature now that when you go to deactivate an appointment flag, it prompts you and says, hey, if you're going to do this, we will now remove the flag from future appointments because it's not being used anymore. Doesn't affect your past history and your data and all that. So you can still report on that as normal. But what it does is it means that it removes it from clients as a default and removes it from future appointments. So that way you don't have to manually then go through and try and find everywhere you've used it and do it. So it does it all automatically for you.
Awesome. And you get that little box that comes up and lets you know that it's happening.
Exactly, and you click OK, or if you don't want that to happen, you can reverse out of it and not deactivate it. So it just makes things a bit easier. Yeah, it's good. It's some of these things it's user feedback, right? We hear these things, and we of course want to make things easier. The other new thing is now there is a client number in the client search results, if we can get our head around that. So if you're searching for a client, let's say in the appointment panel, you want to make an appointment. And now what it does is in the results, you get the names and whatnot coming up, but now it actually has the client number show in there as well. And the reason behind that is because people can end up with clients that have the same name. So then you now know, well, hang on, which client, which John Smith is this that I'm working with or trying to select. And the other thing is if there has been duplicates created and now you're looking to get into the original, or you can actually see based on the client number, which is older, because it's going to have a lower number and so forth. And you can distinguish between the two. And so that means also if you're using the merge clients function in the system, it just is another way of double checking that you're selecting the right client to merge into the right client. So if you happen to have
the minding all your P's and Q's, making sure everything's in order, just another way that Power Diary is really thinking about how we can help the customers and their experience be better. That's
good. And sometimes it is these little nitty-gritty things that are really important, and we make a little change and it makes a difference to how people are using the system sort of day to day.
Awesome.
So there's some of the new things that have been released. Of course, we've got a bunch of other stuff that is being worked on that we haven't yet released yet. So we're
Well, and I
obviously
think
just
the
announcing.
important thing to note too is like that's like, you know, the new things, but just because you see only like 3 or whatever we just talked about, there's like a bundle that are being worked on because they take time. There's so
right.
much time involved. Like as much as we wish that we had some, you know, Cinderella glass slip or what is that, you know, some glass slippers or whatever, the red slipper, as much as we wish we could just flick a wand and be done. There we go. That's
Yeah.
It's not that easy. There's time, there's processes. You got to make sure other things don't go wrong because of that. So yes, there's
Yes,
a
and
lot happening.
we have a whole bunch of stuff we've updated too. So they were like new things that we've put in the last few weeks. But we have a whole list of update things as well, which I'll just quickly run through that the team have got out. So we've made some, look, we always are making changes to security things behind the system. So we are always monitoring the security environment as part of our processes to do that. So we're always tweaking things. We've made a few more tweaks and changes, which I won't, for obvious reasons, say exactly what they were, but we are looking at always what are the sort of emerging threats and ways people are trying things, and we're always running checks over our system. So we've done some of that more recently as things have emerged in the last few weeks, you know, just not specific to Power, just looking at, okay, making sure we're always on top of that. Okay, we have changed the default, like some expiry text for some custom forms. So if they expire, we've just sort of made that a little bit more clear, a little more kind of friendly there. The session packs, we've made just some small tweaks to make them the way when you're sort of selecting a session pack from, you know, to add it to an invoice or add it to an appointment. We used to have this text on there that said like session pack templates, and people were sometimes a bit confused about what that meant. It would list all the templates that were there. But now we've just changed the way that operates a little bit so that now is, you know, session packs, you know, create new, just to make it easier for new users, whether they're new to Power or maybe new to a practice, to know that, okay, that's actually, if I'm going to make a new, you know, session pack for this client that's got this appointment, that they're the ones, you know, to choose from. So a small tweak, but we just noticed from the contact we'd get through support and whatnot that sometimes that wasn't as clear as we'd like it. So that's out. The form designer, when you're designing a form, so you can do custom secure online forms, it's included free as part of your Power account. And you can design the forms, or you can import one from our library and modify it, whatever you like. But you can reorder sections and things as well. Sometimes people will develop a form and like, yeah, that section would be better at the top and so forth. So you've always been able to do that, but we've just actually, you know, repositioned how you do that slightly and just made it a little bit clearer, you know, the way in which you can do that within, you know, to 2 sections. It's a small thing, but again, it's that thing to kind of make life that little bit easier and again, more intuitive. So if we think and we notice where people might trip up doing something, or they ask us a question, we're like, hey, okay, I get that. That's, you know, not intuitive. If it's the first time that you're, you know, you're using it, you know, then so we've done that. Okay, so now for Medicare, and this is actually Medicare for in the Australian context, not Medicare for our US customers, but for Australia, we have implemented a new, just another way of checking the validity of a claim to prevent before it gets lodged. So when we're looking at there were circumstances where people would try and create a claim for a future dated appointment, which of course is not going to be accepted by Medicare. So we've just added some additional flags to kind of detect that and to alert users to just again reduce the friction point so that they don't you know, end up submitting that and encountering issues. And on top of that, we have, as I'd say most practice in Australia would know about, Medicare implemented some new infrastructure or in the process of doing that, and they're migrating claiming onto that. So we've been working on that for some time with Medicare. Medicare have got a lot of, well, they're getting a lot of platforms on at the same time, so it's probably taken them a little bit longer to get feedback and to do the reviews and whatnot. But our integration is now actually being used live. So the new integration, the new infrastructure is now being used by some practices. So we're in that kind of beta stage of testing. It's going really well. We'll be sort of moving people onto that fairly soon, and there'll be a notice in their account. It's a thing by Medicare to say everyone's got to move on to the new claiming. So that's all sort of in place, and it's been a huge piece of work. So great to kind of have that.
You guys have been working on that. The team has really been, I mean, the amount of testing that I know was involved in making sure that, that everything went through smoothly. I mean, the engineering team has put many, many hours into it. And I am sure they are all excited to be very, very near the, are they complete now? Or
no, it's live. It's like, I mean, it is being used now by practices, but in a limited way to begin with. But like we often do that with something big, we want to make sure that obviously that it's working well, and we iron out any wrinkles before we do a sort of major release. But no, that's actually providing, like, it's doing real claims now, and on the completely new system. So. That's really cool, and we've built a way that we can easily migrate people onto that, very in a very kind of controlled manner. So that's great, awesome to see it out there, and it'd be good just to have this project, to be honest with you, just like ticked off, right? Because it's not something we woke up and went, hey, let's spend a whole lot of time on a new Medicare, because but this is something that Medicare have said, hey, this is what we're using. Obviously, we don't get a say in that. And so it's kind of nice to be, towards the very end of that project, because it takes up a lot of resources, and and for users, it's great they're on the new infrastructure, but we'd much rather be spending that time on other kind of functionalities. So
absolutely, but I think that credit to the team, and I'm excited for everybody to have it off their plate, and it's a really exciting time.
Yeah.
So good job, you guys, and it's really good work. So is there anything else? We got anything else over there?
No, I think that's, look, there's some other little bits and pieces, but I think that sort of covers some of the key things the last few weeks that have been out. And we'll cover the rest next time on some of the things that are about to be released, and the team is working on.
Awesome.
Right,
all right.
So
let's go.
Let's jump to other news. So you've got some news, right?
And our time's doing good.
We are tracking well. Now you've got some news about some awards. Can you tell us about what we have here?
I'll tell you about the awards, because we love a good award around here. And quite frankly, I feel like we should get all the awards, because this team we got over here is pretty amazing. So G2, which is a peer-to-peer review site. I think you've heard us talk about them before. They do these like every seasonal awards. And they're a very big deal, because they're that people go to them, over 60 million people, software buyers, people that are buying software, go to G2 annually to find what software they should buy. And it's the world's largest and most trusted marketplace to find your software. So people go on there and they give reviews to software. They're honest reviews, their opinions of your software. So if you're bad, you're getting a bad review. If you're great, you're getting a great review. And I am proud to say, we have gotten great reviews. We have gotten several awards this little quarter, this summer 2022. We got High Performer for Small Business and Physical Therapy.
Nice.
High Performer Physical Therapy. High Performer Mental Health. High Performer Medical Practice. So this is all in that software. We are high performers in these categories. Like, that is fantastic. So if you count that, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4 right there. We also got the Momentum Leader in Medical Practice Management. So we are ranked in the top of our categories, products by users. So people have gone on there and we are building momentum. Like we are just skyrocketing away. That is awesome again. Thank you, G2. And we've also got the users love us recognition. And this is when you meet a certain volume of positive reviews, which is 4 stars and above, you receive this recognition. And it's a lot. It's like you have to reach some volume to get these awards and recognition. So getting the people on there, getting them to review us. I mean, come on. How many times have you asked a customer for a review? It is not an easy task. And they're actually going and they're doing it and they love us. And we love you. So thank you. And congratulations to all of the Power Diary team. Congratulations to all of our customers because you are on the best practice management system. At least I think so. We love us and we love you guys. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So really cool stuff.
It is cool to see. And I think it's one of those things too, isn't it? Where, we work, you're always working at trying to give people the best, experience and develop the things that people want. And you do the best you can, but sometimes you don't really know, because there's always things that, people like, there's always an endless list of things that one, can do. And, so it's really lovely to see when people take the time out to go and review us, and even better when they say nice things, which clearly they are. So thank you to everyone. It is nice, and it's good. I think, like Eddie Business is great for the team as well to see that, hey, all these pieces add up to people having a positive experience and across these areas that we really focus on. So it's kind of cool to see that. So thank you to everyone who has reviewed us. Keep it up. We love it. We like feedback, and of course, thanks to the team who puts all this together, because we might be like the front people talking to you about this right here, but of course, we're representing the work of
absolutely.
Whole stack of very talented.
All that stuff we just talked about, all those little changes and all that stuff, and to better our software so we can get these reviews, like that is all happening so that this can be the best company we can be, and we're proud of that. So we're going to give ourselves some kudos today. Kudos. And yeah, I think that's good. So all right, we're going to keep moving on because we are staying on time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about our Power Talks webinars that you've been hosting, because we had one last month, because we're doing the monthly now, which a lot of work for you and you and your team members. So I mean, this last one we just had session packs.
Like it was called Session Packs Demystified, tracking money, sessions, and time. This is one, we're really excited to do this because session packs is so powerful. I mean, they can really change the way a business operates, because what it does, very simply, it makes it easy to track the service provision, and that could be based on, like as we say, it could be on money, it could be on number of sessions, or it could be on time. And we know that's important because it's linked to often funding. People get funding to provide services for a certain amount of sessions, money, or time. And so, but tracking it's super important. And it's one of the administrative nightmares for practices often. So we've had session packs for a long time, and we've developed them and expanded them over that. But sometimes people are not sure. Like it's like anything that does a lot of cool stuff. Sometimes people then are a little bit, I don't really know how to use this or whatnot. So it was kind of really cool to do this webinar on this and just take people through. They're actually really easy to use if once you can understand the kind of concepts. And so we did that. We had like
Irina involved too, right? From our customer success team, because she lives and breathes these session packs. Like she knows her stuff on there. And I know she was super excited to kind of get in there with you. And it was kind of like an unexpected co-hosting thing, but I think you did a great job, and that's exciting to get another team member in there and out there and really showing you that.
Like exactly. And how did that actually happen? I mean, Irina is a gun, right? And she actually had written the documentation, the support documentation for session packs. So she's really kind of across it. Irina was helping me prepare the webinar, and we were looking through what sort of questions people ask us. Are there any sticking points? What sort of things would people like to know? And it just sort of like it was so clear. Like we're talking to her, I'm like, hang on, she knows she's so passionate about it, and she knows her stuff so well. I was like, hey, Irina, like, don't want to put you on the spot, but how about you
Yeah.
co-host this with me? Let's go. We'll present it live. And so it was really good. And funny thing, of course, Murphy's Law. But so it's Irina's first live co-hosting of a webinar. And we had like some technical problems with the power and internet in Melbourne, where
Oh,
Irina is based. And so literally, like we start as we're starting the webinar, like her power goes out. Like it was, and she kept she got it sorted. She got everything back up and running, and joined and really did an amazing job. So it was like under fire. She
and
did
I
an
guess
amazing
it
job.
proves to you that you do those live
Oh
because,
yeah, that was
you're going to have things that are going to happen. As you said, Murphy's Law, whatever can
yeah.
go wrong will. And, that is fantastic. So I implore you guys, if you are interested on session packs and really understanding the nitty gritty of it and how you can use it to better your practice, I'm going to put the webinar replay in the link in the bio below and the link in the description below. I want you to head on over and check out that replay of that webinar. Again, it won't be live, but you get to watch Damien and Irina really dive into these session packs and give you everything you need to know and how you can start utilizing them in the practice. And they'll also, we can get you a link too for that help article, so you can really kind of get into them too. So
Yeah,
awesome stuff.
absolutely. And look, you never know when we put webinars together, we get feedback and stuff about what people would like in them, but you never really know if you hit the mark or not. And but the feedback we've had, has been really good on this. So people said, hey, that helps. That's demystified. So that's what we're after. But if you watch it and you think, yeah, I'm still not sure about something, just reach out to our support team, and they'll help you. They'll jump on a Zoom call or something with you. They can help you get it set up. But they'll they're right there. Whatever area and zone you live in the world, we've got people there that will be able to jump on and get you sorted. So yeah, do let us know.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. And now we've got a webinar coming up here. It is going to be, it's the 26th of July, if I am correct, at 8 p.m. Eastern or Melbourne time, the AEST, getting all my time zones all over the place. But that is going to be, and we've got a co-host for you. It's Natasha Ace, and it is Practice What You Preach, Establishing Your Own Work-Life Balance. And I love that because we all talk about work-life balance. All you practitioners talk, you need more work-life balance. But how many of you are really using work-life balance? Be honest,
Yeah.
Damien, what time do you go to bed at night?
Yeah, it's more like
Yeah.
in the morning sometime. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think that you guys have some great, I'm really excited about this. I mean, what are
Yeah.
you most excited about? You're going to be in it.
Look,
I can't wait to watch.
yeah, and look, it's really exciting to have Natasha co-host with me. I've known Natasha now for quite a few years. She is really active in this space of supporting practices, allied health practices, to do really well. And the thing that I like about Natasha's approach is that she's really well-rounded in how she approaches this space, and she sort of keeps not just the business in mind, but she's very good at thinking about the people. And in a very genuine, way. And I really like that when there's a balance between, people and commerciality, because that's I think where the sweet spot is where you run a business. It's got to be profitable. It's got to be successful. But it's people, right? In every business, it's people, and in health businesses, it's even more importantly about people.
Yep.
So Natasha's awesome. Natasha Ace, Ace by name, Ace by nature. Definitely tune in. She's got a really interesting backstory too. She's originally from the States and was working in allied health space there. Did some amazing things at a very young age, and then she actually moved over to Australia, and she's been over in Australia now for a number of years. And so she's got a really good across perspective about managing practices and keeping a healthy work-life balance. And really
I'm
cool.
excited.
So
I'm excited to watch you two, and I know she's going to do great. You guys are going to be a great little duo. So I can't wait
Yeah,
to see myself.
the hardest thing will be keeping the length contained. We catch up every now and again, like we're not doing podcast doing, and we can talk forever. So, but we're going to
It's
keep
going
it
to be an
focused. We're going to
hour.
make it. That's
They're
right.
they're gonna get out their stopwatches and they're
Yeah.
gonna keep it to an hour. They promise. They promise. So
Yeah.
awesome.
So
All right. Well,
tune
we're
in
doing
and,
really good, Damien. We are almost at our mark. And I think if you got nothing else to say, we are on your thought of the month.
we are on the thought of the month. I think actually leading on from what we were just talking about for the upcoming webinar, the thought of the month is really about, when you're in business, is not sort of forgetting that you're human too. And you don't have to be perfect. And, so you need to be able to, I think, or remind yourself that you're allowed to kind of make mistakes. You're allowed to try things that don't work, or to do something that just, a misstep or a lack of, foresight, or to make the wrong call. There's all sorts of things that all of us, can do, or to have our own stuff going on in our personal life. And I think it's that idea that, the more kind of open we are with ourselves and accepting that, and, being okay with that, but also being sort of okay being open with other people, whether it's colleagues or whether it's, other people that we interact with in our professional environments, actually being kind of open about that. Or if you're experiencing, personal stuff and a bit affected or something at a time, being open and transparent about that. Actually, you don't need to maintain. Often we find, people maintain this sort of this mask, professional demeanor,
this social media persona that everything is always, glitz and glamour or perfect. Like, humans are imperfect beings. You are going to mess up. You're going to have a bad hair day. You're going to say the wrong thing, like it's afternoon when it's 11 o'clock. I did that today. You're gonna have good days. You're gonna have bad days. And I agree with you, Damon. If we would all just take us to, I love an imperfect being. I love it. I want to be friends with the people that are honest and upfront and real. And I love that about people, because, life is messy.
Messy. And it is, and I think, from a personal experience, I think the longer I've been in the health space and all the rest of it, I think over time I've become more relaxed, more confident about being human, and not, I think at the start of my health career in particular, very focused on presenting in a certain way, and not being. But what I found over time, being more and more just, I think authentic, or, just trying to be as direct as you can, is that it opens up space to be a bit more creative as well, and be a little bit more adventurous and a little bit more, because there isn't that sort of thinking all the time about, well, what if I make a mistake? What if it goes wrong? What if, you sort of go, well, that could happen and that's okay. I remember when I first started doing radio, in the psychology capacity for about 10, 11, 12 years, something, I would do like a radio segment every couple of weeks for one of the broadcasters here. And, the anxiety for the first probably few years, it took a while, but of what if I say something wrong? What if I get something incorrect, and then, other psychologists are going to point out that I've, made a mistake or something, right? And that would, I still enjoyed doing it, but that was sort of really would influence and affect me a fair bit, and make me less adventurous about the things I would talk about. And and then over time you're like, well, what, I could make a mistake, and if I do, well, I'll just admit it. Like the next time I'm on air or something, and just say, hey, I got that fact wrong, or this, there's actually some new research I wasn't aware of, or whatever it might be. And just own it, and then
learn from it. Learn from it. Keep moving forward.
Exactly.
And but showing that vulnerability is, I like it.
It takes a whole load off, and I think it benefits not only yourself but the people around you too. Particularly if you're in a leadership position, I think it also sort of allows other people to feel comfortable and safe in admitting, if they have an issue or they make a mistake or they've got a personal thing going on or something. And then, it creates an environment that's a little bit more, I think, genuine, and people feel kind of safe in. And that's a good thing. Anyway, that's my thought for the month.
I love it.
Spoke a little bit longer than what I intended to, but anyway,
I love it. I think it's a very good thought of the month. I love it. Well, I think that about wraps us up. We did this in over 25 minutes. It's good. It's good. So we appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in and listening and watching us. And until next month, Damien.
Thank you. Thanks, Danielle. Bye. Bye, everyone.